When you grow up turkey hunting, you probably get your first camo outfit before you can even dress yourself. And you can learn to look forward to waking up before dawn, bundling up, and eagerly trudging behind a familiar pair of boots. Hunting becomes more than a hobby. It shapes who you are. Hunting is a reason for hosting giant conventions. It becomes a subject of endless stories and discussions. And it even has its own set of rules and mores about, for example, how and when to brag about a successful hunt. It is in every way a culture unto itself, and when you are raised in a hunting family, it becomes a part of who you are. But most importantly, when you grow up hunting, you learn to love the woods. They are a classroom, a source of adventure, and a place to escape to. That's certainly true for Forrest Orr. Forrest grew up hunting in the mountains of Brevard, North Carolina, and moved to Hillsborough just 4 months ago, where he continues to pursue his passion for the outdoors. While Forrest is well versed in the peculiar practices surrounding the hunting nature, for him that is not what it is all about. He hunts because he loves the woods. They are a place that is uniquely simple and peaceful. It is there that he can let go of his cares and worries, escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and just breathe. 4 years ago, his love for the woods moved Forrest to become a North Carolina Wildlife Resource Officer, better known as a game warden, and Orange County is his third post. The work of a game warden is inherently solitary. Forrest spends most of his days alone, driving back roads and walking through the woods. But it doesn't bother him because this is where he loves to be. And beginning in March, when all the winter hunting seasons have closed, Forrest turns his attention to turkeys. Forrest doesn't just wander the woods aimlessly. He is looking for people who are either starting the season a little early or baiting turkeys using feeders, like this one that dispenses corn on a daily basis. And he doesn't always work by himself. Others often take Forrest out to show him where they suspect someone is hunting illegally or trespassing. Forrest says that when he worked in Graham and Bertie counties, he rarely got calls about injured or diseased animals. People just took care of them. But a lot of people in and around Hillsborough, like this gentleman, grew up in a city and aren't used to dealing with animals on their own, so they call him. There are other new things to get used to, like a new house with a new oven that cooks too fast. But on the whole, Forrest and his wife Rachel are enjoying living in Hillsborough and plan to settle down for a while. They got married 3 years ago, and believe it or not, it was hunting that brought them together. Although Rachel doesn't hunt, Forrest met her through a friend that he got to know at a National Wild Turkey Federation banquet. Every county in North Carolina has a chapter of the NWTF that hosts a banquet each spring, and Orange County is no different. Forrest has been attending these every year since he was a little kid, and moving to Hillsborough sure hasn't changed that. The purpose of these banquets is twofold. Officially, they are held to raise money for the NWTF, which works to preserve the tradition of turkey hunting through conservation. But, unofficially, these banquets give turkey hunters the rare opportunity to get together, socialize, and swap hunting stories. Larry Smith has worked with the National Wild Turkey Federation since 1984. He told me that in 1970, the entire state of North Carolina held only 2,000 wild turkeys, but through the efforts of hunters, the NWTF and wildlife officers, like Forrest, the wild turkey population has increased to over 140,000. Forrest is on the front lines of these conservation and restoration efforts. As he says, in a sense, his job is just a way of looking out for his hobby. And Forrest does love to turkey hunt. You hunt turkeys during their spring mating season, and in their crudest terms, the goal is to lure a male into range by imitating the calls of an interested female. Turkeys are notoriously wary and have both an impeccable sense of hearing and sight, so in many ways, calling one up is an art, and in this, Forrest is a master. But, regardless of how good you are, turkey hunting always depends on a little luck. This day, we were lucky. Turkeys can be hard to see in the dense woods, but after peeping around the trees to scope out the situation, this turkey agreed to come on in and check out the new girl in town. He was even nice enough to pose for just a second before Forrest shot him. Forrest told me that killing a turkey always seems bittersweet, because even after working so hard, it is sad to kill such a beautiful bird. Forrest respects and loves turkeys, so whenever he kills one, he plucks a feather from his body and sticks it in the ground as a kind of memorial. As he carried the turkey out of the woods, Forrest smiled. If it always worked out that well, it wouldn't be any fun. What he means is that while it is always fun to get a turkey, it is the pursuit that makes it worth it. It is being in the woods early on in a spring morning and getting to hear the world wake up. That makes him come back again and again. Now, bragging about your turkey is an important skill as well. It wouldn't be appropriate to admit to being as excited as you really are. You can't come right out and say it, so you talk about it. For example, when Forrest called Rachel, he started by asking if she had brought freezer bags. When she just happened to ask why he needed freezer bags, he mentioned that he had gotten a nice turkey and needed them to store the meat. Forrest uses the whole turkey. He takes out the breast meat. He cuts off the wings and tail to use in hunting demonstrations and workshops. He even plucks the rest of the body feathers to send to a Native American program that raises money by making traditional jewelry. He wastes nothing because he believes that doing so would be disrespectful. And Forrest sure respects these birds. His job is focused on their preservation, and even when he is not working, he's in the woods scouting or hunting. He can't get enough, and as he held up the tail fan, he just stared in wonder for nearly a minute. Then he sighed. They must be the most beautiful animals out there.